Hey, quants. I'm not feeling that great today, but we're going to do a real quick one anyways, just to go over some of the things that we've been doing on a weekly basis. So real quick, first looking at the weekly strategy that buys on Sunday and then sells on Monday evening. Obviously, we got a bounce off of 80K, and so that strategy or that particular purchase worked out well, or that trade worked out well this time. So we got a gain of 0.96%, which is not that big of a deal in the larger scheme of things. And considering we've been in a downtrend, this strategy hasn't been working out that well anyways. But as I mentioned before, this is really just to kind of showcase how easy it is to come back and review something if you're using something like Quant Prime AI to create strategies that you might want to utilize yourself and create yourself. So moving on from there, we will take a look at the Bitcoin chart, and wow, look at all that. Let's remove that, or hide that. So we did get a bounce off of right around 80K. I mentioned yesterday that we would get this stochastic cross if price continued to stay where it was at and move up a little bit more, which it did. So we got this stochastic cross. So I have some of the indicators on this oscillator turned off right now. I'm not going to do that during this video, but this is going to print a buy signal. Right now we're seeing a little bit of a pullback, but from Gann terms, it looks like it measures high to low, and so this is currently an inside bar, which is essentially going to have no effect in terms of Gann pricing on that, or giving us a position on whether it's an up bar, down bar, that kind of thing, right? So we wouldn't, from a swing pattern perspective, we wouldn't make any action here. We're just kind of in a sit and wait and see position. So this is triggered the buy. Looks like we might actually get 3 prints of green here. We'll see if this holds through the day. If we get an inside bar, then that's likely going to be green. But we are still obviously bearishly postured here. And as mentioned before, we're looking for a bounce here because we had such an extreme downward move. But how far that goes is yet to be determined, and we'll just have to wait and see how price plays out. Of course, I would like to see us get all the way up to the 200s, but that might be a little bit extreme unless we see a total V-shaped recovery. But with such an extreme price move it to the downside, similar as if we were to see something to the upside, we might just expect a little bit of sideways action or a slow grind up to kind of digest some of that price action that had caused us to drop all the way down. So the last thing that I'm going to just quickly touch on here is the seasonal charts. And so if we're looking at the seasonal chart, I don't need to do all of this here because I really just care about seeing where we are for the year. And I guess the only reason I'd want to go all the way back is so you can kind of see the pattern of red, green, 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 red, green, 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 or green, green. And so in this case, we just had red, green, green. So sitting at -6% for the year, almost -7% for the year, which isn't looking great, but just it would be interesting if we go into if we postulate that next year or within the next 2 years we would expect to see a left translated cycle, and that culminating with the end of the 18.6 year land cycle. It would be interesting to see if we get a negative print for the year. However, that print if that print is not that significant, and that would align with diminishing returns also aligning with diminishing declines, and then we see bullish price action in 2026, maybe into 2027, and then just see when historically, if we're just straight up following the 4 year cycle, we would expect 2026 to also be red. I don't know if we've ever seen 2 red years in a row. It doesn't look like, at least here in TradingView going back to 2011, we've seen 2 red years in a row. So if we print this as a red year, then I think it would make sense to potentially expect that 2026 could be a green year. And again, that potentially could align with the whole left translated cycle and all that kind of stuff. This is just obviously speculation. That's what we all do here anyways, right, at this point. So just wanted to kind of throw that idea out there. It's something I'll be continuing to watch just to see how these, as a point of interest, to see how the cycles play out in the context of the 4-year cycle and also the 18.6-year land cycle. So that is going to be it. Just a short one today. I hope everyone has happy holidays if I don't make anything or put anything else out before Thanksgiving. Yeah, hope everyone has a good holiday. Peace, Quants.